So in every Manvantara, as we understood, there were 6 different personalities who appear. In that, the last one, what is discussed is Lord will be taking his plenary form, or Lord would be coming and performing his pastimes. In that sense, so when Sukadeva Goswami was discussing about the 6th Manvantara, the pastime of the Lord was churning the milk ocean. At that point, when Parikshit Maharaj has inquired further about the pastime, Sukadeva Goswami started narrating the pastime of churning of milk ocean. And during the churning of milk ocean, there were various products which emanated from the milk ocean. And as the demons as well as demigods, they were desiring for the nectar that did appear from the churning of milk ocean, and immediately it was snatched by demons. And all the demigods requested Kshirodsai Vishnu to save them or to get them the nectar, because if that gets into the hands of demons, then because demons do not follow dharma, all the things will not be in place in order to run this material universe management. In that sense, Lord Vishnu appeared as Mohini, and he bewildered the demons with his beautiful looks. And later he has given the nectar to the demigods and his kind sweet words to the demons. And later demons realize that they are not going to get the nectar, and after that immediately Lord assumed the form of Vishnu from Mohini avatar. And after that, when Lord disappeared, then later demons realized that they were cheated, and they had a great fight with demigods. So in couple of chapters we have discussed in great detail about how the battle happened, and later we understood that the demigods were having upper hand, and again demigods requested Lord Vishnu to save them, and he told, this is not the right time, I will come on the right time. So at that point, now we are discussing, in the last chapter we have discussed, Mother Aditi did not find any demigods in the heavenly planets, and she was thinking that so the opulence of the heavenly planets is lost, our sons have lost their kingdom. So she wanted to regain their sons' opulences as well as their kingdom. And when Kashyapa Muni arrived at her ashram, then she requested what could be performed so that she can restore their children's original position. Then Kashyapa Muni said, you perform devotional service, and that is specific to Lord Vasudeva, who can fulfill all the desires of one. Then Mother Aditi asks, what is the perfect process in order to perform the devotional service to Lord Vishnu? Then Kashyapa Muni explains about Payovrata. So we have discussed in detail about Payovrata in last 2 days. And after that, now Aditi, in this chapter, we'll see Aditi has performed the Payovrata process, and Lord appears, and what was the discussion between them in this particular chapter. Before that, we will quickly read Mangalacharna prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Namasreshtham Manumapi Sachi Putramatra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Madhurim Gosthavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavashyam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurum Tam Natosmi Krishna Danyamajanata Kshanamapi Swapne Vishveshware Tasmin Bhakti Mahitukim Vidadato हृत्काय वाग्भिः सदा श्रीलान् सद्गुणपुञ्जकेलिनिलयान् प्रेमावतारानहं वन्दे भागवतानि मामनुलवम् मूढ्नानि पत्यक्षितौ आजानुलम्बितभुजौ कनकावदातौ सङ्कीर्तनैकपितरौ कमलायताक्षौ विश्वम्भरौ द्विजवरौ युगधर्मपालौ वन्दे जगत्प्रियकरौ करुणावतारौ जयतां सुरतौ पङ्गोर्मम मन्दमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदाम्बोजौ राधा मदनमोहनौ नीलाचलनिवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रसुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणम्। So we will get started with today's chapter. Sri Sukha Uvacha Ityukta Saditi Rajan Swabharta Kasyapena Vai Anvatistadvritam Idam Dvadashaham Atandrita. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king, after Aditi was thus advised by her husband Kashyapa Muni, she strictly followed his instructions without laziness, and in this way performed the Payovrata ritualistic ceremony. So here, Mother Aditi in the last chapter, she got advice or instructions from his husband or Guru to perform the devotional service. And in order to reap the benefits, she performed that without laziness. She strictly followed. In this way, she followed and she got the desired results. So this verse is very much important because we are also, most of us are practicing devotees. And when we are practicing something, why we are practicing? If we have that question, then we will have our answer. Why we are practicing? Because we need to have devotional service perfection in devotional service. That is why we are all practicing. And how do we get that perfection in devotional service? So as Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, we need to render service to that spiritual master who has already seen that truth and he can guide us. Now, how to render devotional service? There are a couple of ways. One is Vani Seva and one is Vapu Seva. So one is directly doing physical services to spiritual master, and one is following his instructions to make our life successful. So here, Mother Aditi has strictly followed her husband's instructions, and she was successful in whatever she desiring. Similarly, if we want to get successful in our spiritual life, we should follow the orders of our spiritual master. So the two things are very important when we are following the instructions. One is we should have great faith in the words of spiritual master. So daily morning we sing in the Mangalarti, the Guru Ashtakam. So if it is possible, or everyone can go and read the translation of that morning Guru Ashtakam, so that we will be understanding the importance of Guru. And even it is mentioned that before performing prayers to Lord, one should prayer to Guru. That is how important the position of Guru is in one's life. So one, we should have great faith in the words of Guru, and we should have great determination in the instructions which have been given by Guru Maharaj. So an example we all can understand or we all can experience right now is the main base reason of why we all are here discussing the pastimes of Lord Krishna, Srimad Bhagavatam, is Srila Prabhupada. And his purports, his books are the basis of connection of all of us, why we are sitting here and discussing. So, did he rose to fame by just overnight, or was it by accident he rose to fame, or just like that he constructed 108 temples all over the world? It is not like that. He struggled in every step of his life, as we can understand. At the age of 60 plus, he took the voyage to America. Why? That is just because of his instruction from the Supreme or his spiritual master. So Prabhupada got instruction from his spiritual master saying, you, because you speak nicely, you should go and instruct to the English speaking people. So his Guru Maharaj or his spiritual master has instructed him, go and preach abroad so that they will become devotees and they will come, and here the people will get inspired and become devotees. So with that instruction, Prabhupada has great faith and great determination in order to complete that instruction or in order to fulfill that instruction. That is why when Prabhupada has met Sumita Murarji, I think, if I'm not wrong. So she requests, she is a owner of cargo ship, and that was the only means Prabhupada found the way from going to India to America. So he requested her multiple times, give me a chance to go to America and preach. And she was like, Swamiji, you are very old, and if you go to America and if you die there, I will get all the sin. You are a great devotee of Lord Krishna. I don't want you to go to America and just have some problems. And if you pass away there, then I would be the reason of sending you and I'll get all the sin. I am not going to send you. And this way, multiple times Prabhupada requested and she did not agree. And later Prabhupada said that he requested her, my Guru Maharaj has given me the instruction. Please give me a chance to go there. That will be a milestone in the spiritual revolution. So he told her before that, if you send me, then there will be lot of wonderful things happening in future and your name will be written all over there and you will be part or you will be instrument in this wonderful event or wonderful change in the world. So that is how much he had faith and he had determination. That is how we should take the instructions seriously in order to get successful. And later, we all know, once Prabhupada reached America, what happened? Just because the blessings of his guru and his instructions, Prabhupada was successful with great determination. Chintayantyekaya buddhya mahapurushamishwaram pragrihendriya dushtaswan manasa buddhisaradihi Manaschaikarya buddhya bhagavatya kilatmani vasudeve samadhyaya characharaha payovratam. With full undiverted attention, Aditi thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and in this way brought her under full control of her mind and senses, which resembled the forceful horses. She concentrated her mind upon the Supreme Lord Vasudeva and thus she performed the ritualistic ceremony known as Payovrata. So after hearing the instructions, how did she perform? With full undiverted attention. And how Aditi thought that Supreme Personality of Godhead and she got her mind and senses unto full control. So as we can see, the process of Bhakti Yoga is Anyabhilashita Shunyam Gnana Karma Yanavritam Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam Bhaktir Uttama. So the topmost bhakti is Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Anya means other, Abhilashita, desire, Shunyam, without. So without having any other desire, we should put aside all the gain or fruitive activities, philosophical speculations, Jnana Karma Anavirtam. Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam. We should perform whatever is favorable for worshipping the Lord or performing the loving service to Lord Krishna. So Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam. That is Bhaktir Uttama. That is the the topmost pure devotional service. So one has to concentrate upon the feet of Lord Vasudeva. Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo. So Prabhupada has written in this purport. So he said, one has to concentrate upon the lotus feet of Krishna, then mind and senses will be controlled. Similarly here, Mother Aditi has got her mind and senses under full control. Then she concentrated her mind upon Vasudeva. Then she performed that ritualistic ceremony as Payovrata. So if we just do the vratas as in just a formality, nothing, we will not get any benefit. It will be just like one more karmakandic activity. Until and unless we have that great desire and we have that great faith, we will not be able to successful. Tasyaha pradurabhut tata bhagavanadi purushaha pitavasascha durbahuho shanka chakra gadadaraha. Then how the Lord appeared in front of Aditi is mentioned here. The original Supreme Personality of Godhead, dressed in yellow garments, Pitavasasa, bearing a conch shell, disc, club, lotus, Shanka, Chakra, Gadadaraha. In his 4 hands, Chaturbahuho, he appeared before Aditi. So Lord appeared in his Vishnu form, in his 4-handed form, where he had conch shell, disc, lotus in his 4 hands. Then he appeared. So generally, if everyone can take a moment and just think, suddenly if Lord appears before you, what you will do? So because of the Lord effulgence, because of the Lord's beautiful form, because of his blissful view, blissful form, we will not have any words. We will just get amazed and we will get wonderstruck. That is what happened with Mother Aditi also here. Tam netra gocharam viksha sahasotaya sadaram nanama bhuvikayena dandavat priti vihvala. When Supreme Personality of Godhead became visible to Aditi eyes, Aditi was so overwhelmed by the transcendental bliss that she at once stood up and then fell to the ground like a rod to offer Lord her respectful obeisances. So when Lord appeared in front of her in 4-handed form wearing the Pitavasasa, then Aditi, she immediately stood up and offered again Dandavat to Lord. So we see in Bhagavad Gita also, whenever Arjuna sees that Lord universal form, he started offer Dandavats from all directions. So he says, from all directions, I am offering Dandavats to your universal form. Now what happened? Shotaya Baddhanjaliditum Stita. Shotaya Baddhanjaliditum Stita. Notseha Ananda Jala Kulekshana Babuvatushnim Pulakakulakrites Atyutsavagatra Vepatuhu. Aditi stood silently with folded hands, unable to offer prayers to the Lord because she was wonderstruck. She was not able to offer prayers to the Lord. Because of the transcendental bliss, tears filled her eyes and hairs on her body stood on the end. Because she could see the Supreme Personality of Godhead face to face, she felt ecstasy and her body trembled. So even the same characteristics we see happened to Arjuna in the battlefield when he saw Lord's universal form. So his hairs on the body stood on its end. He was in great ecstasy, tears filled in his eyes. So Mother Aditi also has the same thing. She is experiencing the same thing. प्रेताय शनैर्गद्गदाय गिरां हरिं तुष्टावसदेव यदिति कुरुद्वः उद्वीक्षति सा पिबतीव चक्षुषा Ramapatim Yagnapatim Jagatpatim. So here Lord is addressed as Ramapatim Yagnapatim Jagatpatim. So Ramapatim, in the churning of milk ocean, we understood who is Rama Devi. Rama Devi is Lakshmi Devi, who was born out of the churning of milk ocean, and she married Lord Vishnu. Here Lord is addressed as Ramapatim, the husband of the goddess of fortune. Yagna Patim. So whenever we are doing any sacrifice, the ultimate person for whom we should offer that yagna is Lord Vishnu. Yagno vai Vishnuhu. So that person who is the original or the only person to whom we need to offer all the yagnas. Jagat Patim, who is the master of the entire universe. Jagat Patim. So here it is said, O Maharaj Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, O Maharaj Parikshit, the demigoddess Aditi then began offering her prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in a faltering voice with great love. She appeared as though drinking through her eyes the Supreme Lord, who is the husband of Goddess of Fortune, the enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, and the master and lord of the entire universe. So now Mother Aditi started praying to the Supreme Lord in a faltering voice and with great love. Sri Aditir Uvacha Yagnesha Yagna Purushaschuta Tirtha Pada Tirtha Shrava Shravana Mangala Namadeya Apannaloka Vrijinopa Samodayadya Samna Kridishta Bhagavan Asidina Nadaha. The goddess Aditi said, O master and enjoyer of all sacrificial ceremonies, O infallible and most famous person whose name when chanted spreads all good fortune, O original Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Controller, shelter of all holy places, you are the shelter of all poor, suffering living entities, and you have appeared to diminish their suffering. Please be kind and spread our good fortune. So here Mother Aditi started praying to that Supreme Lord. She says, when your name chanted, when your name is being chanted, it spreads good fortune all across. You are the Supreme Controller because he is that Anadiradir Govinda. He is the creator of the every creation. So he is the creator of Lord Brahma. He is the shelter of all holy places. So a place will become holy because of the appearance of Lord, or when there is a flow of a river. So the source of all the rivers in this world is Mother Ganges, which is coming from the upper planetary systems, and it is coming into the Bhumandala, and it is going through everywhere. So Ganges is coming from the spiritual world. When Lord Vamana has placed his third foot onto the sky, then that foot made a hole onto the universe, and Mother Ganges flowed incessantly from top into this material ocean. So whatever water we see in this world is part and parcel of Ganga water. So it is, Lord is the shelter of all holy places. You are the shelter of all poor. So it is said, like, devotees of Vishnu are poor and devotees of Shiva are, so devotees of Lord Shiva will be generally opulent. This question is asked by Maharaj Parikshit. Then Parikshit said, see, Lord Shiva, even he can bestow all material benedictions, all his followers or who are these devotees will become very materially opulent. But if you see Lord Shiva, how he is very simple, because he is always meditating upon the Lord Rama or Lord Vishnu. So that is why pure devotees of the Supreme Lord will never go for material opulences, and whatever they have, they will be happy with that. And when we say poor, they will be poor in multiple respects. So it could not be in only in material aspects, but in material aspects they might be poor, but in spiritual aspects, the devotees of the Lord will never be poor. Lord will take care. Suffering living entities, you have appeared to diminish their sufferings. So here, Mother Aditi is requesting, you appear to diminish the sufferings of the people. So here, she is requesting Lord to be kind and bless his good fortune. Vishvaya Vishvabhavana Sthiti Samyamaya Swairam Grihita Purushakti Gunaya Bhumne Swastaya Shashwad Upabrimhita Purna Bodha Vyapaditatma Tamase Haraye Namaste. My Lord, you are all pervading universal form, the fully independent creator, maintainer, destroyer of the universe. So fully independent creator, because the secondary creator, Brahma, is not fully independent. Only the cause of all causes, that Supreme Lord, Govinda, is fully independent. No other person can be fully independent at any point of time. Although you engage your energy in matter, so before the creation of this, or when this universes have been created, everything was dull matter. But with the glance of Lord, he activated this universes. So he engages his energy. What is that energy? It is Durga Devi. So he engages Mother Durga to take care of this universes. You are always situated in your original form and never fall from that position. So as we can see, Lord performs pastime in this material world many times, but Lord is always there in his planets, Goloka and Vaikunta. So he is always situated there in his original form. And even when he comes, he performs his pastime, Lord will never fall down, because he is transcendental to all the three modes. He is the creator of the three modes. For your knowledge is infallible and always suitable to any situation. You are never bewildered by illusion. Oh my Lord, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. So Lord will never be under illusion, because he is the one who has created the illusion for us. Ayuh param vapurabhishtam atulya lakshmir dyobhurasa sakala yoga gunastri vargaha jnanam cha kevalam ananta bhavanti tushtat tvatto nranam kimusapatna jayadirashihi. O unlimited one, if your lordship is satisfied, one can easily obtain a lifetime, as long as that of Lord Brahma, a body either in upper, lower, middle planetary systems, unlimited material opulences, religion, economic development, and satisfaction of the senses, full transcendental knowledge, and 8 yogic perfections. What to speak of such petty achievements as conquering one's rivals? So here, Madad Aditi is bringing up a nice point. She's saying, you can do or you can satisfy anyone. And what to speak of requesting for a long life? So one can very easily obtain a lifetime as long as that Lord Brahma. So as we can see, Lord Brahma's lifetime is very long. So you can easily give one's a lifetime of Lord Brahma. And then what to speak of small things? So what is the point in asking you all the silly things? So whenever, for example, we have seen or we have heard a couple of analogies. When a constable was working very hard and a DSP or a higher rank person in the police department saw him and he was very happy with him, and he asked constable, what you want? Then in his mind, he was always thinking that I need to become SI because that person is always cheating on me or always scolding me. So that is the conception of or understanding. If we have that silly things. So when the highest rank in the police department is asking a constable what you want, he can ask the highest thing in that, I give me a chance to or give me a chance of DSP or give you a position similar to you. Then, but he was asking that silly thing, make me an essay. Similarly, if Lord is coming in front of us, if we are asking for any material benediction, then we are nothing but less intelligent and fools, as said in Bhagavad Gita. So we should be intelligent enough to ask the proper thing when Lord is appeared or when Lord gives his darshan. So we should not ask for any material benediction. We should ask for only spiritual progress. Here it is said, if your lordship is satisfied. So if that Supreme Lord is satisfied, entire material creation, everything will be satisfied. Do we have an example? Yes. So when Pandavas were in the forest, when they are staying in the forest as a part of Ajnatavas or Vanavas, at that point, in order to trouble Pandavas, Duryodhana thought, let me send Durvasa Muni there. And if they do any mistake, Durvasa Muni will curse and they'll still get troubles in their life. And Duryodhana said to Durvasa Muni, please go to Pandavas after the noon. They want to meet you. And after the noon, why? Because till that point, they would have taken their lunch and they would have cleaned all the pots so that they will not have much food. Here, the trick is, if Durvasa Muni goes, then he has 60,000 disciples and all of them would go. And if 60,000 disciples and Durvasa Muni go there and ask for lunch, how they would prepare lunch for this many people? Then if they could not prepare, Durvasa Muni will get offended and he will curse. That is what the plan of Duryodhana was. But when Durvasa Muni went and asked, like, myself with my disciples came here, then he, so Yudhishthir Maharaj said, you please take bath and come back. We will arrange prasadam for you. Then when Durvasa Muni went to take that Sandhya Vandanam time in the noon, then at that point when they were discussing, so they were thinking that how to feed 60,000 people. We are staying in a forest. We don't even have any proper thing to eat. Now Durvasa Muni, who is the great sage, we need to honor him. At that point, they prayed to Lord Krishna and Lord Krishna appeared and asked, Where is that pot, Akshaya Patra? That will give you how much you want, but until and unless you wash it. But they have already took prasad, they have washed that Akshaya Patra. Now Akshaya Patra will not give food for that particular day. Now Krishna requested, you get it quickly. I'll see what is left in that. And Krishna saw a small grain in that. And Krishna took that grain and had that grain. With that small grain, when Krishna is satisfied, entire world was satisfied. So all the living entities in this world at that point were not, or they were full of their stomach. No one was hungry. And at that point, Durvasa Muni, who was taking the river bath, immediately felt like his stomach is full. He cannot even take a single grain now. Then he immediately told his disciples, okay, now let us leave directly from here. We will not go to Pandavas, because if they give us prasadam, then we will not be able to take anything more and we will be offending them. And Durvasa Muni left from there itself. So this small pastime says, if that lordship is satisfied, then all the living entities in this world become satisfied. So we'll follow. Sri Shuka Uvacha Adityavam Shruto Rajan Bhagavan Pushkarekshanaha Kshetrajnah Sarva Bhutanam Iti Hovacha Bharata. Sukadeva Goswami said, O king of Parikshit, best of Bharata dynasty, when the lotus-eyed Lord, the super soul of all living entities, was thus worshipped by Aditi, he replied as follows. So here, couple of attributes: lotus-eyed Lord, and Lord is super soul of all living entities is attribute. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Devamatar Bhavatyame Vignatam Chirakangshitam Yetsapatnairhitas Srinam Chavitanam Swadhamataha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Mother of demigods, I have already understood your long cherished desires of welfare of your sons, who have been deprived of all opulences and driven from their residences by their enemies. So here Lord appeared and directly he spoke like, I understood your long cherished desires. So what is the takeaway from this verse? The important takeaway from this verse is, whenever we are visiting temples, whenever we are taking darshan of Lord, whenever we are doing the prayers to the Lord, we should not ask for all the material desires. As we all know, so we have a nearby temple in Chilkur, Balaji temple, which is very famous temple. And the Balaji is attributed as, generally, Lord is known as Radha Govinda, Radha Gopinath, Radha Madhav, Radha Ashtasaki and everything. But here the Lord is attributed as Visa Balaji, because if someone goes there and prays, Lord will, if they are praying for a visa, their desire will get fulfilled. That is how the material desires are like, and they have attributed the Lord like that. Visa Balaji, they are saying. So if we have the darshan, or when we are taking the darshan, we should not ask Lord, because based on this verse, Lord is always, or Lord already knows what we are going through, and he knows what is best for us. We should not change his plan. So we can pray for other devotees if they are in troubles, because we are requesting Lord, because he is in trouble, please help him. So that Lord generally takes his devotees' words seriously. So if we all pray together, then that prayer will be successful. But when it is coming to ourselves, it should be like, Lord, whatever is good for me, and whatever is good for me in spiritual progress, and whatever is your plan, please let it that happen. I do not desire for any material benefits. please bless me to serve devotees, serve my spiritual master, and progress in devotional service. So we can understand from this verse, Lord knows what we are going through. Lord understands what are our problems. He will do whatever is best for us. If we think that why I am having this trouble, if someone is having an accident on his hand, if he got fractured, then it might be like in his karma, he should have got many more fractures. But because he had or because he has performed some devotional service, he just left with a small fracture on his hand. So that is how we need to take the troubles. So whatever the troubles we are having, we should think that I got a small portion of the trouble rather than, or there was much more trouble waiting for me, but because of the mercy of the Lord, I got this small trouble. So here Lord appeared and said, I understood your desire, and your sons have been deprived of all opulences. So demigods are deprived of all opulences and they were driven out from the heavenly planets. Kanvirjitya samare dhurmadanasu asura rishabhan pratilabda jaya shribihi putrair ichasyupasitum. Oh Devi Goddess, I can understand that you want to regain your sons and be together with them to worship me after defeating the enemies in the battle, retrieving your abode and opulences. So he is saying, I know that you want to restore your son's original position. And I know that because you want to worship me together with your sons. So here he's saying, you don't want your sons in heavenly planets so that they will enjoy the resources there. He's saying, you with your sons want to worship me. That is why you want to restore their original positions. And after defeating the enemies in the battle and reviving your abode and opulences, so you are worshipping, or you want me to defeat the enemies in the battle. Indrajyeshitasvatanyair hatanam yuddhi vidvisham striyo rudantir asadya drashtumichasi dukkitaha. You want to see the wives of demons lamenting for the death of their husbands when those demons, the enemies of your sons, are killed in the battle by demigods, of whom Indra is the chief. So he's saying that you want to see the wives of demons lamenting for the death of their husbands when the demons are, or demons, the enemies of your sons, are killed in the battle. Why? Because demons have troubled lot to the demigods, and all of the wives of demigods are lamenting. So here, as a mother of the demigods, she wanted the same to be experienced on the other side also. So that was the only intention. But in ideal case, yeah, so a devotee will never even think of troubling the other party. Now, what was one more reason which Lord puts here? Atmajan susamriddham svam pratyahrita yashasriyaha nakaprishtam adhisthaya kridatru drashtumichasi. You want your sons to regain their lost reputation and opulence and live again in their heavenly planet as usual. So here Lord is saying, you want your sons to regain their position and opulences. You want them to stay as they were. So what is the constitutional positions of all the demigods? As we can see in the picture, all the demigods are working under the direction of that Supreme Lord in order to bestow whatever is required for the living entities in this world to maintain their lives, and if one is performing the sacrifices, as is said in Bhagavad Gita, if one performs the sacrifices, then that sacrifices will be food to the demigods, and when demigods please, they will again shower their blessings. So it is a give and take relationship between the demigods and the living entities. But the demigods are not that supreme authority where they are independent. So here Supreme Lord is saying, you want your children to live again in their heavenly planet as usual. This as usual means be in their constitutional position and performing their duties, whatever they are supposed to. So at this point, we will take a break for today and continue the remaining session tomorrow. So today we have discussed like how the Lord has appeared in that 400 form before Mother Aditi, and how Mother Aditi was wonderstruck for a moment where she could not even pray to that Supreme Lord and offered Dandavat, and later she started praying, and she has attributed Lord in many ways. And later Lord said, I know what you are desiring, and here she is, or he is explaining what is her desire. Now in next verses, let's see tomorrow whether Lord immediately gives or he wants to perform one more pastime in between. So whenever Lord gets opportunity, he will perform these great pastimes where one can remember his pastimes for many generations. I'll stop here. If anyone has any questions, there was one question yesterday also. So please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, thank you for the class, Prabhu. Prabhu, now I just wanted, like, we can maybe very briefly discuss when Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, they desiring the Supreme Lord to be their son. Yes. And Aditi desiring. So what is the difference here?
So when Devaki and Vasudeva were desiring, so that was not in that particular lifetime they have desired.
Yes.
So, yeah, so that was in the past lifetime where they have requested Lord to be their son, and they were not even expecting that Supreme Lord will be their son by the time at that point.
Yes.
And here she is not requesting for Lord to be her son, but she just wants their sons to regain their original position. So that is one difference. And here, so if you have any more points on that, you can add to, Prabhu. Because
I was just thinking that here there is some motivation.
Yeah, motivation is there.
Yeah, but there it is deprived. I mean, it is bereft of any material motivation there.
Yes, Prabhuji. So here, yeah, material motivation is there. She wants to regain, but even that could be part of Lord's drama also, because what is the point of she asking restoring of their son's reputation? Because if demons continue their duties, what first demons will do? First they will stop, or they will kill all the sages, and they will kill all the cows. They will stop all the sacrifices, which is not even benefit for any of the, or benefit for this material existence. So if our desire is personal, then that is a problem. But whatever has desire is according to dharma also. So because if demigods restore their original position, they will follow the instructions of Lord. If demons are ruling the thing, then they will trouble everyone, as we can see from the pastime of Hiranyakashipu, how he troubled everyone.
Okay. So still, although Bali Maharaj was the king, still this was to happen?
Yeah, because he is Asuric demon by his nature, and his followers
I'm just wondering, I am also not sure. Bali Maharaj is actually a great devotee of the Supreme Lord. So, of course, he's the king.
He is a great devotee. He is in the generation of Prahlad Maharaj.
Yes, yes. So, if he were to be the king of Asuras, still, if were this to happen, that the Brahminical culture, probably they would be enemies of demigods, but would they be completely destroying Brahminical culture? That is something I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I am also need to think. But however, the Asuric nature is Asuric nature.
Okay.
Because if a good prime minister is ruling, then it is not like all the subordinates under him are also good.
Yes.
So he'll not be able to manage everything. And
yes.
If Bali Maharaj is pure devotee, that is perfectly fine. But below, everyone is demons.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll also think few points in this difference between the two births. But yeah. So whenever Lord is appearing, he is appearing to give his wonderful pastimes, as said in Bhagavad Gita. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti suarjuna. So all these pastimes, when he took the son of Devaki was there, when he's taking the son of here, Kashyapa and Aditi. So these are supposed for us to understand. Lord birth is not like one of our births, and his activities are not like one of our activities. And these activities are for us to relish, and so these are for our encouragement to continue in devotional service.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Okay, then, we will continue with the chanting. Thank you all. We will be joining in tomorrow. So that let us see how Lord reciprocates. Did he immediately took over, or did he perform any other pastime in between? Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.